Troot. It's troot time. We're trooting. Big Chorf hours, dude. We're going all the way to Chorfholm with this one, boys. Ref with 4 Fs, thanks to the big prime. 11 months. Loaded up and got a 4-minute long Boredom Lands ad. Never resubbed faster. Hey, apologies for the ads. I can't control them. I mean, I can slightly control them as much as Twitch lets you. But no matter how you slide all those dials, you still see a ton of them. There really isn't a way to do it. Chorfs are real after all. It's been 83 years. Can't hear me in the pub, but you will be watching the R. Hey, watch out for that R, or the comments will come after you. Anyway, welcome to the walk. Oh, I still have my... I forgot I put the sandwich ogre on the walk, too. I put it on this thing as well. Hey, how about that? It's the Hellsmiths of Hashish. What will we have today? And I'm just clicking over to my Discord here. Do we got a full leak? When is this stuff supposed to come out? In a pinch, if there's nothing else, I'm going to be reading the Warhammer community article, which talks about their rules. They posted it like 3 days ago. I couldn't get to it until now, which is an excuse you may or may not be able to believe, seeing as I streamed the last 3 days playing Path of Exile 2. But you know what it is, It's within the week. Breaking news. What was the music that was playing? It was pretty sweet. That is, jeez. It's hard to find songs that won't DMCA me. And that's one of them. I think they're the ATEX. EIGHTECS, I think. The song is Urail. EURYLE, something like that. The spelling might not be correct, but it's something like that. Anyway, I think it's a fine opening song, I suppose. The images in Giga are ripped from Honest Wargamer's stream. Okay. Yeah, with leaks and stuff, either there's a full, like, true leak, or there's early content creator stuff, which means you have a 50-50 shot. You flip a coin. You know, on a 4-up, it's Honest Wargamer. On a 1 through 3, it's that Australian guy, AOS coach. Everything except points should be there. Nice. Be right back. All right, we'll wait. Fear School, we need base sizes. First time chatter. I imagine they'll be... What do you think? Do you think they're bigger than 25s? The originals were 25s. Mortec Guard are 25s. Fire Slayers are 32s, I want to say. So, I don't know. They could go a lot of ways with it. We'll find out soon enough. Not exactly in a jiffy, but we'll find out soon enough. You thought the new guys would be either 28 or 32. Yeah, you know, there is a touch of a size creep going on. I hesitate to call it a size creep due to a lot of factors, but Age of Sigmar is just like a bigger game. And I mean that in a, like, ratio. Like, what the scale of the models are, you know? It's just a larger game than Fantasy and even 40k. Like, just the scale is higher. And so we might think of it as size creep, but actually they were just replacing Fantasy stuff with AOS stuff. So I guess call it what you will. Bull Centers are large cav bases. They're on those Mornfang bases. Nice. Big Mech is 70 mil. Oh, that's not that big. Okay. I mean, in another world, the big mech bull could have been on like a 120 oval or something, you know, like a Frost Lord base or something. Maybe they are a little more dwarfly. Anyway, you know, I'm enjoying this walk. But today, I want to just get into it. Monster Hunter World Huntsman saying it only took 40 years, yeah. Anyway, I just might get into the content, if that's okay with you. I know there's national news and everything, but you're probably sick of death hearing about it. And honestly, so am I. We come here for plastic toys. Fuck off. Real world. For one goddamn second. They just needed time like Boyhood? Oof. Took 12 years to make and it still fucking sucked. What an awful movie that was. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to my office. Every once in a while, we do in fact talk Age of Sigmar here. Now, I haven't gone over the last few battle tomes. Because they're always kind of disappointing, and I don't want to be that negative. I like to be critical and say things are good when they're good, and say they're bad when they're bad, and say they're boring when I feel they're boring, right? So really, it's kind of not my fault. But I'm just like, let's chill with that. They're all the same, whatever. This is a new army. There's nothing to compare it to. You're not looking at your old battle tome or your old index with all sorts of cool stuff in it that now is either gone, or you get a shittier version of the thing you used to get, except now you have to jump through another 3 hoops and take a hero you never wanted in the first place to get what you used to get always, right? This is a brand new army. So really, we don't get anything to compare it to, and conceivably that'll make it more exciting, whether or not it is. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. The Hellsmiths of Hashish, forged in fire. Built for victory. Well, that remains to be seen. Looking kind of nice, though. I gotta say, very, very World of Warcraft looking. Which either you may like or may not like. Really depends on you. Oh, we got Anferny. He's telling us about him. The forges of tyranny burn once more. The Hellsmiths of Hashish have joined the battlefields of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and they're an absolute powerhouse. They aren't just about incredible models. The rules bring something unique. This is an army that thrives on synergy. Oh, yeah, thriving on synergy. Truly unique in Age of Sigmar rules writing. Let's read on. Resource management and brutal precision, rewarding players who plan ahead. That entire sentence, every part of it, basically describes how you play Age of Sigmar with literally every army. But hey, it's an article. Chill. Whether you want to dominate the mid-board with unyielding infernal razors, annihilate targets with demon-fueled dominator engines, smashing the enemy lines with bull centaurs, or rain destruction with war machines, Hellsmiths give you tools to play your way and win in style. Well, sounds good to me. How they play. At their core, Hellsmiths of Hashish operate as a fortified fire base that expands behind a shield of tough infantry. They rely on a unique demon power points, DPP, resource mechanic that represents the volatile demon energy powering their engines. If you play conservatively, you can maintain steady pressure, but the real fun comes when you turn up your DP to transform a unit into a pure annihilator. For instance, for each point you spend, you add +1 rend to your Infernal Razor's ranged weapons, +1 to your Bull Centaur's charge rolls, or unlock a ward on the Infernal Cohort. Your double PP will let you supercharge important units and adapt to the flow of the battlefield. This sounds a lot like what OBR used to do before they took it all away. This sounds a lot like on release Ozark Bone Reapers to me, which means it's probably going to be fun and good. Apologies, OBR. Diamond Dallas page points. The 4 battle formations let you build on your preferred playstyle and generate more power, while certain key units are suffused with 3 double PPs. Demonsmith K-Ball will take priests and wizards like Urakthar, okay, to the next level with +1 casting rolls, unbinding rolls, banishment rolls, and chanting rolls. War Machine lovers can get an additional attack with their castigation battery, while the Bullfather's horns will add 2 inches to the move characteristic of monsters and cavalry, including Bull Centaurs, Anointed Sentinels, Infernal Taurus. Infernal Taurus? I think you go there in Persona 3. Anyway, +1 to cast. Great. Additional attack with your ranged, or with your war machines. Generally, the difference between whether they're usable or just not usable, to be honest. It's like a brick wall standing in your way. And 2 inches to the move characteristic of your monsters and cav. Yeah. Always good. Incredible. They're only showing us 3 of them, but that's fine. Arcane Dominance, +1 to casting rolls. And priests. Chanting rolls as well. But it's stipulated you have to have 3 demonic power points. Well, they have 3 demonic power points. We'll see how hard that is in the future. Experimental munitions. Add 1 tax characteristic ranged weapons. Friendly war machines. Well, okay, I'm noticing a pattern here. As long as you have 3 demonic power points, you get bonus. But then you spend these to get other bonus. So you're trading 1 bonus for a different bonus. Okay. And then add 2 inches to move a characteristic. We have 3 for them. Cav and Monstars. This whole system plus big coal burning mecha wrestlers reminds you of, yeah, war machines. Or war hordes? War machines, yeah. Focus mechanic. It is a lot like what OBR used to do, but a lot more fun. Interesting. Also must have access to 3 heroic traits, 3 artifacts of power, spell lore, and a prayer lore. Oh, we're down to 3. Okay. Personal favorite options, an eye for weakness. Let's pick a visible enemy unit with an 18. It's bad. It's bad. To get +1 to wound against it in combat. That'll bring your Bull Centaurs down to winning on 2 in the cohort. Oh, so what they mean is visible enemy unit with an 18, everybody gets the bonus to wound against it. Not just the hero. Good. They've made that mistake before. It's alright. Crucible of Spite grants a once per battle ability that will immediately give the bearer 3 double PP. This combination would give the Death Shrieker rocket battery a massive 42-inch range with serious anti-monster power. Hateful Fractures is a spell which casts on a 6. Lets you pick a visible enemy unit with an 18, halves its move, but not charge, at least. It's one way of slowing your opponent down, so just slow, yeah. Nice. Best artifact of the edition. I don't know about that, but I wasn't sure about it reading up till here. And then here I'm like, oh wait, okay. It's dogpile mode. Yep, it's good. Hero traits. Wait, this is just showing us, this is simply showing us what is written here. Transcribing. Don't need it. Key units to watch. Each unit brings something unique to your army and complements a particular playstyle. Habogrot Vandals have a pre-game move to get a head start on scoring objectives and screening out your enemies. The War Despot will improve your control score by 3 with a radius that grows based on the number of double PP. While the Anointed Sentinels have first strike if you declared a countercharge command on the unit. Only if you declared one, so even if you fail the countercharge, you still get strike first. It's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. Generally don't care about control score. But a crazy enough ability could cause me to care. Stalwart and Cruel. Infernal cohorts and Hashishite spears form the backbone of your force. They're not just objective holders, they're a wall of steel that buys time for your infernal razors and war machines to work their magic. That's what objective holders are. But hey, alright. They hold back the enemy from ranged units, anti-cav rend, anti-charge rend. Well, with 2 DP plus P, they gain a 5 ward. Okay. Do you have to spend this stuff? Yeah, for each point you spend. But just having it also gives you bonuses. So you're trading one bonus for another. And who knows how quickly you'll be able to get it back. Okay. Ahem. Dominator engines are a centerpiece that can be built with Bane maces for melee or immolation cannons. If the former is in combat with an enemy hero, it can fight twice using Engine of Domination. Double fight twicer. And as a Dominator engine, which is what I imagine these bigs are called, fight twice is looking kind of good as long as you can take the hit that happens in between those two. So like fight twice on glass cannon guys is not very impressive, but fight twice on good armor bigs, what the doctor ordered. Dwarfs pushed? I don't know. We have to see the real everything. We got to see the real everything. It sounds good in the article written on purpose to make it sound good. Will the Tormentor Bombard and Death Shrieker Rocket Battery create carnage from long range? Death Shrieker is great against monsters and war machines, gaining an additional point of rend against these targets, while the Hungering Flames ability will change the D3 plus 2, flat 5, against monsters or war machines once per turn. Yikes. Okay, big shooters, similar to the Ogre Cannon, which is also flat 5. The Bombard has a massive 30-inch range, earns -2 rend against infantry and cavalry. Once per turn, the calculated trajectory, will grant 2 up to hit if you're targeting a unit with 5 or more models who are more than 12 inches away. Okay, the Sittin' Ducks, the objective cleaner. Raktar is a worthy war master to lead your Zahardran. Zahardran, kind of like Caradran. Zardran. He has a solid range profile that can shoot in combat, dangerous melee profile that grants +1 dam on the charge, as well as being a 2-caster wizard. Lets you manipulate your forces double P during the enemy hero phase, allowing them, switching them around. Cool, very interesting. You can initially choose to infuse your war machines for big shooting attack and then move them over to court for defensive, though the Pitiless Trampling ability, D3 mortal damage on the charge, move 2d6, which will help you jump screens and fight priority targets. Not really, unless you roll boxcars. You'd be surprised what 7 inches will get you with the charge over stuff, and it's not a lot. It's almost never really something. You got to roll really high for that. I would know. It's my ability they keep stealing. Hey, would you also want Chaos Dwarves off your lawn because you don't want AOS to just be Warhammer Fantasy? I want the hashish guys off my lawn. No, I think they're fine. Yeah, I don't have a big problem with how they've been implemented. Good models look cool. The rules seem good. I was, as always, when we're pondering brand new armies, personally, I'm always hoping for truly brand new armies instead of plumbing the depths of the old game to find stuff to bring into this game, especially now that they have Old World as its own game, you know? So, in a vacuum, yeah, I want new stuff. I don't want Old World stuff. If you got an Old World army you want to bring back, put it in the game called the Old World, is my general opinion. But now that it's in the game, I don't know, we support armies that are in the game that we like. You know. Have you considered that this is the internet, and while there's infinite space, there's simply no room for nuance? Well, I try. Sounds like a Power Rangers villain. You think Zardron means something like People of Fire in the Old Dwarven Khazalid language? Okay. Regiments of Renown. You can choose between 2 regiments of Renault to join other Chaos factions. I don't care about that at all. Stupid ally shit. Closing thoughts. I'm excited to see the Mortal Realms expand with a new faction that offers something unique to the battlefields. Hellsmiths can play in all phases of the game with strong units that have interesting abilities and enough roster flexibility to play with multiple styles. Oh Lord, I've seen what you've done for other armies and even brand new armies, and I wish that for me. Can't wait to see how the community embraces the Hellsmiths of Hashish. If you love the strategic puzzle of resource management combined with overwhelming firepower, the faction will be your new obsession. One of my favorite parts of the narrative is learning about the ziggurats across the mortal realms, such as the Forge Anathema, if you will, in Akshi, Zorn and Gur, Zar Vixa and Shyish, and Mazeltov Zar in Chaemon. Just reading through their stories inspired painting scheme and conversion ideas. The Zar Vixa not only used demon smithery, but also renowned for using the souls of the dead for their industry. This immediately got you thinking about a Dominator engine surrounded by a swirling spirit host. Hey, nice blog, dude. Tell me some more rules. I guess we'll just have to go to somebody else's video who looked at the whole book and then posted it. How about that? You thought they revealed Ogre Gutplate? Yes, they did. I don't know how many of the rumors are true, but it is true that we are getting at least one new Ogre, because we saw a Gutplate. So 100% absolutely confirmed, at least one new Ogre is happening. And then there was also a forum post that was saying it's a giant refresh with all these new models and everything. The person may or may not have been right before a little bit. We'll see, chill. But I'm sipping just a little bit of hopium out of a flute of champagne, an admixture. We'll see how much it is. New Ogre in cities. No, we've had enough of those already. Zarvix is cool. It's a demonic oil rig sucking souls out of the ocean in Shyish. That's so sick. That's like, that's lore tidbit during every army in 4th edition 2026 video. That's like, sort of like the big slime tentacle. for Nurgle. Like just a little aside to be like, hey, look, there's cool lore here and there. Yeah, we're micro-dosing opium here. They did steal that idea from our Rifts game. It is a long-standing part of Rifts. And you guys are going to get to interact with it. Possibly not the next adventure, but if not then 2 from then. I'm writing a storm. I'm typing a storm. IDK probably ain't happy about the Soul Rig. I don't know if IDK can live in an ocean of demon oil. And if they can, sounds like a cool paint scheme. And some super badass mutant IDK. To be TBH. When are they going to steal the Tri-Rex? I sent a letter to myself, Copyright Office. Tri-Rex with 3 heads, its teeth are chainsaws, and it bleeds gravity. That's copyright. They can't do it. Don't try me. The Tri-Rex. Not the T-Rex, the Tri-Rex. Hopium, yeah, Hopium line go up. I mean, it's true standing still. They can live in boiling water. It bleeds gravity. Yeah. I got the idea from the movie Alien. And I'm like, damn, the aliens bleed, they bleed acid. Oh, that's extra dangerous. They bleed acid, so even when you kill them, it like melts stuff around it. What's stronger than acid? Gravity. Ship it, run it, print it. Anyway, please enjoy commercial. And I'm going to look at somebody else's video screenshots for the army, and we're going to judge the rules and just see what we think about them. BRB.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to
the cream?
Let's find out.
Let your fingers do the walking.
I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls on my top. I'm Mr. Bucket.
What do you get when you press on a can of Noxema?
Great balls of comfort.
You get
Noxema clean your face.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Oh, where have I heard that before? Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in.
I'm calling paramedics and your family, Mr. Miller.
You can make this creamy cheese sauce in seconds with American cheese and
cream
mushroom Lipton cup of soup. And you thought cup of soup just made soup.
Oh, yeah.
Help! The
cream in the World Wrestling Federation.
Wait a minute,
and there is
more real meat. You'll be glad we made him taste better. And so will he.
All right, welcome back. Ooh, it's an Imgur link. And I gotta look at his weird ass face in every single one of these. That's tiresome, but hey, we're gonna do it. Everybody needs their gimmicks, I guess. These are the spells, casting value, 4, 5, and 4. Nope, this is chanting value, pardon me. Black Flames of Hashish. Pick a friendly Hellsmiths of Priest chanted. Enemy unit within 12 sounds really bad. Way too short. Roll number of dice equal to the number of models on the target unit. For each 5, mortal wound. If it was 8, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target for each 4 up instead. So it's a pure, unit halver anti-chaff thing. Not exciting. Storm of Obsidian. Big friendly Hellsmiths. Visible enemy within 18. D3 mortal damage. And subtract 3 from their control score for the rest of the turn. You could steal something with that. A lot of control scores, if nothing dies, is like 10 versus 10. Or close to that. So you could steal from it. And on a 10 up, you get to do it to 2 things. They're trying to give you the opportunity to make a big play, like a big power turn. As always, killing the enemy on the objective is far superior. But I could see situations where you're both like racing towards it and you put this on them for their turn or something. It's only the rest of your turn, right? Man, I don't think this is any good either. Furnace Blessing. Pick a friendly, visible friendly, finally, targeting your own guys. Within 12. Add 1 to rend, great. For melee weapons. If it was 8, the unit's melee weapons also have crit mortal for the rest of the turn. We have a winner. Alright, Furnace Blessing, amazing. The other 2 target the enemy, which is always generally worse than not targeting the enemy. Really short range, kind of meh. And it has to do with control score, which is also kind of meh. It could work, though. Overall, your prayers are great because the one that you're always going to use is great. And then heroic traits. Servile Automaton. Pick a friendly Hellsmith Automaton unit within the combat range. So you got to be really close. For the rest of the battle, the target is this unit's bodyguard. Oh, that's a way to do it. Well, this unit is in combat and its bodyguard is within its combat range. Bodyguard has strike first. If the unit is infantry, it has ward 5. While its bodyguard is within its combat range. That's cool. Nice. It's actually kind of nice. I don't know what all is automatons besides the big. But that's kind of cool. Fire you worms. Pick a friendly house that is not in combat and wholly within 12 of this unit. Immediately use the shoot ability as if it were your shooting phase. We never learn from our mistakes. Double shoot. All attacks must target the same enemy unit. Enemy unit picked to be the target must have charged this turn. If the unmodified hit roll for any of those attacks is a 1 through 5, the attack fails and the attack sequence ends. Only hits on 6s. So you get essentially a second Unleash Hell that's only going to hit on 6s. Interesting. That's not going to amount to a lot. An eye for weakness. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 until the start of your next turn. Add 1 to ruin rolls combat attacks made by friendly Hellsmiths. Target that enemy. I like this one. I think this one's best. Only hitting on 6s is a rough one on this. Bodyguard is cool though. But 18, you don't have to roll, just do it. And then everybody gets to dogpile them. I like it. I like it. And then we got the 3 we knew about plus Hashishite Host. Each time friendly Hellsmiths infantry with 3 demonic power points uses the rally. 3 additional rally rolls. No. I like the big shoots. I like +1 casting. I like +2 move. And I like all of these. The only thing I don't like is the one that they didn't show. I don't know what's going to be good and what people can build towards, but these are 3 solid build around me's for very different types of armies. Kinda you love to see it. Very interesting. And then we got spells. Unlimited spell, Hateful Fractures. Pick a visible enemy with an 18. Halve the target's move until the start of your next turn. And that's your unlimited, okay. The flamethrowers have Rend 3 and 30 attacks, so you'll roll some 6s. It's true. You'll roll 5 of them on average, which is something. Halving move characteristic is randomly really good. Having charge as well is even worse, but they don't do that. It's strange for an unlimited spell. 18 is, I guess, what counts as long range for spells now, unfortunately. Ashen Smaug. Pick a terrain feature with an 18 that has a desolation token. What's a desolation token? I guess I'll read about it later. Terrain feature has the obscuring ability until the start of your next turn, then roll a d3 for each enemy unit contesting it. 2 up, 1. Inflict one amount of damage equal to the roll on that unit. I know what you meant. I love 2 up d3s. And it gets obscuring. This feels like way too many hoops to jump through. It feels like I'm reading a Beast Claw prayer. You have to have already put a desolation token on something, and then it targets that, and then you have to cast the spell, and then it has to get unbound, and then you have to roll a 2 up. Like, too many jellies. Too much. It could still be good, but that's a lot of requirements. Molten Metal. Visible enemy with an 18. Roll number of dice equal to the unmodified casting roll. Inflict 1 mortal damage for each roll that equals or exceeds the target's save characteristic. So it does a bunch of mortals against really high armor targets, and it does nothing against low armor targets, which is fine. Spells are supposed to be can openers, right? Because that's why they do mortal damage. Yeah. Neat. Yeah, truly heat metal from Dungeons & Dragons 3rd Ed, yeah. Artifacts of Power. Scroll, once per battle in a hero phase, Scroll of Petrification. Pick a friendly Hellsmith's a shoot unit holding within 12. For the rest of the turn, Ward 2 up cannot use non-passive abilities or be picked to be the target of friendly abilities. Enemy units can ignore the target for the purpose of movement, charging, or setting up on the battlefield. Fun. This is a funny ability. This is fun. Gauntlets of Punishment. Pick a visible enemy within 12. Roll a d3 on a 2 up and inflict the amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. Nah. Way too close. And then still roll. You get to do this every time forever, but Crucible of Spite. I prefer Crucible of Worlds. Give up to 3 demonic power points to this unit. However, you cannot then go on to give any more demonic power points to this unit for the rest of the battle. Okay. Did it need that? I guess we'll find out when we read the rest of them. Derm. More of an Ice Tail Explorer. Dude, that guy does everything. It's not fair. High save targets are typically the ones you want to do mortals to. Yeah, that's my point. I've seen spells that they've written the other way around, and I was like, why? What are you doing? At least this one punishes high armor, because that's like the point. I want to see the battle traits, though. I don't want to see the war scrolls. I want to see the battle traits. Is that what we don't have? Okay. So I don't know what the desperate points are. How many, who gets them, exactly what they do, how you transfer them, what the rules are on moving them. So we still have a lot of question marks, I guess. Check your Discord. Oh, there's extra. All right, I'm gonna look. I have to actually open Discord on the other computer. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Huge. Open in browser. Dude, I'm just gonna click on it. Fuck it, I'm just gonna click on it. Harness demonic power once per turn. Start of your turn. You must use this ability at the start of each of your turns. You must, so we have to. Remove all demonic power points from every friendly unit. Then you get one for each friendly desolation token on the battlefield. Then allocate your demonic power points to friendly non-Hobgrot Hellsmiths of Hashush. Each unit can have a max of 3. Then all unallocated demonic power points are lost. Note, non-Hobgrot units have abilities that become more powerful depending on how many they have. We recommend using colored dice to track the number of points each unit has. Sure. So at the start of every one of your turns, you pick up all of your dice and then you put them all back. You're doing this. You're redistributing the wealth as long as it doesn't go to Hobgrots. Don't clip that. You get one for each friendly desolation token on the battlefield. Apply the effect below that corresponds to the number of DPP this unit has. If it's got 1, ward a 6, 5, or 3. Or, sorry, 6, 5, or 4. But it's 4 against damage inflicted by spells, prayers, and abilities used by manifestations. Otherwise, it's ward 5. Very, very, very basically slightly better than just ward 5. Should have seen the OG article. They had to stress like 3 times that Hobbs don't get any buffs from it. Good. Good, they don't deserve to. If a unit is destroyed, do you lose your DPP? No. It doesn't. Apparently it doesn't matter because you remove all your power points every turn anyway. And then you get a fresh amount of them based on desolation tokens. So like, yeah, if the unit dies, I guess in that moment you don't have that many demonic power points, but when it becomes your turn, you get a fresh set one way or the other. So you're not like out them. You care about having desolation tokens. That's the thing that you care about. Not necessarily points on guys from one turn to another. And these are War Scroll abilities here for the War Despot and stuff. I think Rob has most of the War Scrolls, but Black-Hearted Conqueror. Add 3 to the control scores while they're holding within 6 of this unit. Add 6 to the range of this ability for each double P. And then Resilience is funny. I think we're capping it off at 5. To be honest, you really don't take much damage at all from spells, prayers, and manifestations. I suppose it depends, but +1 move, +1 attacks of all of its weapons for every demon. You're infusing it with demonic power. I don't know, I think that's kind of fun. As long as the basic unit isn't terrible without demonic power, right? That would be the bad world. Anyway, cool. Do they have a terrain feature? Did we know about that? I'm going to be paying close attention to desolation tokens. We're going to need to place a lot of them on the table. Wherever and however you get yourself desolation tokens, we need a lot of them. As many as possible. Rocket battery. 843. 24-inch, 3, 4s and 2s, 2, D3 plus 2, flat 5 against Monstars and War Machines. Opponent declared a shoot ability for this unit and all its attacks targeted the same unit. Roll number dice equal the number of demonic power points this unit has for each other enemy unit that is within combat range of the target of this unit's shooting attacks. For each 3, 1 mortal. So, opponent declared a shoot ability that targets your rocket battery. In response, you roll 3 dice, and for each 3 up, it's 1 mortal onto the enemy unit. That's like whatever. I don't know. That's like actually nothing. But +1 rend. So rend 3 against monsters and war machines. Damage 5 against monsters and war machines. 3 attacks. Shoot twice with the one thing. +1 attacks with the other thing. Depending on points, could be takeable. Featuring the Bong Centaurs. Tormentor Bong Guard. 843. 30-inch range.
Good job, King.
433, 1d3. Anti-cav and infantry. All right, much better targets here. This is where the wound 3 turns into wound 2 for the one thing. With the 18-incher. Rend 1, damage d3 though. Tay Barracuda things with a tier 1 for 49. Appreciate it. He just wrote it wrong. It's when you shoot. Watch him burn. So he just wrote it wrong. It's not a reaction. It's just when you shoot, they take a little bit of bonus damage. On average, 1.5 maybe mortals. The Dankalation engine. If this unit used the shoot ability this turn and all of its attacks target the same enemy, pick a number of enemy units within 6 of the target equal to the number of demonic power points this unit has. A number of enemy units within 6, so up to 3. Roll dice for each. On a 3 up, the unit cannot use commands till the start of your next turn. It's really good. Calculated trajectory. Use the shoot ability, and all of its attacks targeted. You don't have to hit. You don't have to get through armor. You just use the shoot, and you targeted. And then you roll a fateful 3 up to 30-inch range roar some target, which could really screw them up for that turn. Just a heads up, Rob's information has a lot of typos and mistakes. Yeah, I don't need... Look, he gets that shit out right away, and if you have to do breaking news rush to print, there's going to be some errors. However, yeah, I know. I'm familiar. Calculated trajectory, add 1 to hit rolls for this unit shooting attacks targeting an enemy unit that are 5 or more models, more than 12 from the... Okay. 4 entire shots. What was that shit that let you shoot twice? Where was the shoot twicer? That was a battle formation, right? No, that wasn't. That was a spell. It was a heroic trait. Oh, but it wasn't. It's not a real shoot twice. It's a unleash hell. Okay, in my head it was a shoot twice. But then also there's the +1 number of attacks thing here. They do have to have all 3 demonic power points though for the battle formation one. I'm just thinking about it. Ashen Eldar. If this unit is contesting an objective, place a power or terrain feature, and that objective place a power or terrain feature has a friendly desolation token, give it 1 ritual point. Yeah, that's just what you need is more points to keep track of. More dice. Yeah. True. I was just thinking that. And then here's my little guy, and he has his hit point total here, and then right next to it he's got his prayer power, and right next to that he has his DPP, and then we got a desolation token, and now we'll put a ritual token next to that one guy's surrounded by an entire unit's worth of different colored dice. But he's stoked about it. Ignore the first damage point allocated to each friendly Namhadgrad. All within 6. Add 6 to range of this ability for each DPP. Okay. This is, by the way, for all the old heads in the chat. Stoked fanaticism. Ignore the first damage point. Each phase, that was the old Chaos Dwarf battle trait that they got. It was like, I can't remember, something turning to stone or whatever, and then they had the ash thing that was anti-flying. So this is like a callback. So they all have Stone Skeleton now. Yeah, it's very sad that that's what Stone Skeleton is. But yeah, that ability sucks. Bull Centaurs. Are you guys cool? Move 10. I like it already. 12 if you're in the sub-faction. 4 big swings with 2 damage plus 1 on the charge. Ooh, Crypt Mortals. You love to see it. Bull Centaur's good. 12-inch move in the sub-faction. 4 attacks a model. Rend 1, damage 3, Crypt Mortal. Sure. If this unit charged, pick a visible enemy within 1, roll a die for each model in the unit, add the number of demonic power points, 6 up, impact hit. Add 1 to charge rolls for each demonic power point. That's really good. That's really good. Plus 3 to charge rolls, potentially. After you move 2 extra, if you were in the sub-faction. Dude, Cavalry might be back on the menu. We really need to know how much these guys cost. It'll make or break everything, but their War Scroll's kind of nice. They're MSU 3. I'm assuming they're in 3s, yeah. 12-inch move plus 3 charge. Yeah. Bull Centaurs are something to keep on a watch list. 400 points for 2 models, take it or leave it, yeah. Infernal Cohort. This is the... It's got the spear with Heshutite spears. 2 attacks, 3s and 4s. Oh, okay, so they're on the 3s and 4s 01 gaming. They are Mortec Guard. 3 up save, 4-inch move, 1 health. Anti some stuff. Some dude carries a gong. That's hilarious. There's 1 gong carrier. Dude, the Hellsmiths of Hashish have a bong carrier. Now that's memeing. All right, what does the bong carrier do? This unit uses the rally. Oh yeah, it's the same thing, plus an additional d6. If this unit is contesting an objective you control, pick a friendly non-hong. I see the typo. Non-hong bot. Non-hong bot. All right. Hong bot? Damn. On a 3-up, give the target 1 demonic power point. Oh, you just get those. Cool. You just get those. Cannot make more than 1 roll for each objective in each turn, regardless of how many units with the ability are contesting the objective. Boo. And then you give them sick wards, and so they're huge. I kind of like them. So those are the shoot men, right? No, these are the ones with the spears and the bong carrier, and then there's the ones with blades. So these are close range guys. 2 attacks, 3s and 4s 01, anti-infantry plus 1 rend. They also have a bong carrier. When making run rolls, if you roll 1 through 3, you can use a value of 4 instead, so they auto run 4. And then you have the same resilience. Got it. Demon Smiths. Hurled Demon Sire. 18, 3, 4, 4, 1, D3. Crit hits. Dark Hiron Talon. Big friendly Hellsmiths of Hashish. Within 6. Add 6 to the range of the ability for each. Okay. You heal war. Alright, you literally fix the war machine. Okay. Allegedly 100 for 10. That's surprising. Like, I know they only have one wound and everything, but they seem maybe a touch better than 100 points for 10, but we got to see the whole picture moving, right? Anyway, Demon Smith, I don't see a reason to take him at all, unless he has some sort of keyword I'm not seeing. I don't want to fix my war machines. I kind of don't care. They'll just blast until they die. I'd rather have guys with abilities. Then again, the bottom tag is cut off. If it's a wizard, that's interesting. If it's a priest, that's interesting. He has wizard 1. Okay, maybe might now. We're back on the maybe train. I don't value this ability that highly, in other words. But the other stuff he does can be interesting. Dominator Engine, 2-up save. Ooh. 10 health, 6 move, 2-up save. These are the big guys with the Bane maces. 4-2-1-3. Sorry, 4-2-1-4 on the charge. But with a 6-inch move, you will be getting charged. You won't be delivering the charges. Once per turn army, any combat phase, Engine of Dominion. If it's in combat with any heroes, you can fight twice. Okay. For each amount of power point, the unit has 1 to move characteristic and 1 to attacks. He gets both. You just get that. So you could be at 7 attacks. 7 attacks, 4s and 2s, 1-4. Kind of cool. 2-up base save. I hope this thing is cheap. Because it's interesting. If it's just a little aggressively costed, it's interesting. If they're obsessed, if they're zooming in on that 2-up save and they're like, oh no, we can't, we have to make it 380 or something, stay the fuck away. At the end of the day, it's probably got 4 attacks and move 6. Free shrugs. Dominator Engine. Now, this one has immolation cannons with super short range shots. Anti-cavalry shoot in combat. Horns and punishing strikes. 3-4-3-1-D3. All must burn. Making attacks for this unit's shooting attacks. If you pick more than 1 unit to be the target, add 2 to the attacks characteristic. That's cool. However, those additional attacks must be split evenly between... Oh yeah, because 1 for each arm. That's neat. That's cool. And then you get the same bonuses for the demonic strength you put onto it. I don't know how many double Ps you're going to have in this army. I don't know how many desolation points you're going to be able to get yourself. I just, in general, don't see you putting a precious 3 of them on your 6-inch move, like, monster guy with 4 attacks that kind of, if you erase his name, the wheel in his combat profile kind of looks like a, kind of looks like a Gloomspite Gets, Rockgut Trogoth hero kind of thing, you know? Just a big, slow, defensive melee guy with not enough attacks. You're going to be putting 3 DP on your big unit of whatever, you know, like your big unit of cavalry, or maybe your long range shooting, or your hero guy. 9-inch move, 3 DP. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, I don't know how precious the points are going to be. And I don't want to take a guy who's only good if you have 3 points. I want to take a guy who's good and then he's great after the 3 points. +2 for each target picked. Yeah, you have to divide it evenly. So how many does it start with? 5. You can't divide it evenly. Wait. Hold on. If you pick more than one unit to be the target of this unit's attacks, add 2 to the attack characteristics for each target picked. However, those additional... Oh, the additional attacks have to be split evenly. Okay. I thought the rules were asking me to split 5 evenly between a number of targets, and I'm like, brother, you can't. Unless the number of targets is 5. But okay, you have to split the extra attacks evenly. Okay, I get you. Yeah, so what you do is you choose 5 enemy units, and then you get 10 additional attacks. But that requires a Dominator engine to be exactly 8 inches away from 5 enemy units, which will never happen. I think it doesn't need an FAQ, it's fine. In the 1 in a million time period where this thing gets close to even 3 guys, I just think it's neat. Let the kids play, you know? Sub 200 for both engines, allegedly. That's smart, because I agree. I look at these 2 engines, and I definitely don't want to pay more than 200 for either of them. So that's... If these are costed aggressively, I rather like them. I think they're cool. But I don't know if I'd touch them for more than... I don't know, like a price that starts at 2, really. Hobgrot Vandals. 1551. Attacks that you don't want to roll to just save time. And you can use a normal move as if it were your moving phase to get out in front. Great. Yeah, these are good. Depending on how cheap they are. Their purpose is to die and run forward. Both those things are great. Artorius, thanks for the tier 1, 50 months. The big 5-0. Perfect streak, my dude. It can't be believed. TYVM. Oh, and Chie eating the big bowl. The Mega Meat Challenge. From Ayaz. P4. Hobbs are 70 for 10. It's pretty good. Move 5 too. It's not the worst. Could have been 4. Infernal Raziers. 18 inch. It's pretty decent. 1 attack, 3s and 2s. Ren 0, damage 2. Okay, more than an ogre cannon. Hateful Hail. When this unit uses a shoot ability this turn, and all of its attacks targeted the same enemy unit. Roll die, add a number of enemy models in the target unit slain by attacks made by this unit. If the result is 6, it has strike last. But you have to really be doing the damage, though. Unlike the other one, which is target only, this one has to jump through every one of those hoops and have stuff happen by the end of it. But strike last is... Well, no, it's just for the turn. And it's your shooting phase. Why do I give a shit if somebody strikes last on my turn? So that you can set up a big double charge and have 2 combats. That's basically the reason for it. Big playmaking turn, essentially. Manglers of Metal. Add one of the random characteristic units ranged weapons for each demonic power point this unit has. So you can get up to 3. Very interesting. Monitoring this. Big units with them Grim Guzzler blunderbusses. 3 DP. Let's see. 3 DP to give a slow monster a 9-inch move. Or your 20 guys Ren 3 on their 18-inch shooting attacks to make stuff strike last. Ooh, you can also have Flammenwerfers with 12-inch shoot. And they get to shoot in combat. And it reduces their control score. And you can also give it Ren. Sick. You think the guys are 5 out of 10? Oh, I think they're better than that. Oh, you mean... you mean unit size 5, and they could be in 10s. If you reinforced it. Yeah, that's, oh yeah, maybe that is. I keep thinking about the old army where the guys came in 10s. But this is a new release, so the unit sizes are generally smaller. Anyway, I like them. I like both of them. I think I like the longer range guys better. Anointed Sentinels. 3/3, 1/2, or 1/3 anti-cavalry rend. Yo, these guys are Iron Gut level damage. 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1/3 on the charge. 2/3 against Cav. 10-inch move. If you countercharge, it has strike first. If you crush the unworthy, you add 1 to charge rolls for each amount of power point. Yeah. Very cool. So they're just like super upgraded versions of the other ones then. And then Demon Smith, Dad Bod Nap God, immortalized on the stream, Lul. Lol. He is a wizard 1 and he flies on the Infernal Tartarus, the Toothpaste Tower, 10-inch fly, which is about 5 inches faster than 12-inch non-fly. 15 health, 3 up. That's a good start. 18-inch shoot. That's all right. Crit 2 hits, shoot in combat. He bonks, and then the hoofs are rend 2, damage 3. 2s and 2s, or wait, 4s and 2s. Yeah, charge plus 1 damage. There's one good profile on him, which is more than I expected from a wizard hero on a thing, to be honest. Unholy Stampede. Well, a friendly cavalry unit is wholly within 12 of this unit. That unit can use retreat at the still used charge ability. And yeah, retreat and charge for free. So he just helps your cavalry that's standing next to him. Okay, and then he has the demonic resilience. So you kind of want to shoehorn this guy into having at least 2 of them, so that he has a proper ward for being a centerpiece as he is. You really don't need to give him 3, but you want to have him on 2s. Immolating Presence. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be a target roll. Die if the roll exceeds target's health. 1 model in the target unit is just slain. Nice rampage. He's a single wizard only, not a double wizard. Still interesting guy. Retreat and charge on guys with +1 damage and impact hits. Yeah. I'm thinking kind of nice. Enhance. Uruk-Thar, I mean Urak-Tar, I mean Bellatar. 16 health, 10 move, 3 upset. Oh, this is just the normal version of that guy. Demon Smith on thing, and then special guy. The first Demon Smith. Loktar Ogar. The Curse of Stone. Pick a point on the battlefield within 9. Second point within 9 of the first point. Draw a line betwixt the caster and the first point, and between the first and second. Each enemy 2 up, mortal. Okay. You make a big L. You swing a giant L hook, and you do some shit D3 damage. But against like a lot of guys. The infernal geometry of it. I think it's kind of cool. Beta Games 2911 redeemed Switch hats. Well, I've been a VTuber sandwich ogre for too long, but I am prepared for a little hats off. Go with the plebby hat. Master of Demonic Power. Remove up to 3 demonic power points in total from any combination of friendly units holier than 18. Allocate them anywhere else, but no Hong bots. No Hong bots. Hong bot. None of them. Get out of here. Oh, and this guy's a wizard too. Nice. Peerless among demon smiths. Do you get better shit? You do. +1 to casting rolls in addition ward 5 or 2 to casting rolls in addition ward 4. This guy's cool. He's kind of cool. And then he has pitiless trampling to leap across. I don't know. I kind of like it. Auto include though? No, I mean this guy synergizes with cavalry very well, but then the named guy doesn't really synergize with anything. He just moves cups and balls around. He's supposed to just be good. That being said, he synergizes with like the rules of your army, which is great. Being able to choose what you want in your turn and then choose what you want in their turn is going to be super good, actually. I bet. Yeah, he can be +3 to cast if you want him to be. And then the War Despot. 6432. Nice, Grip Mortals. And 3 control score friendly Hashish units. Fight you scum. Your friendly non-hero hellsmiths of Hashush has not used fight ability and is within the combat range. Target can pick fight. So this guy just like he's a Phyto hero, like a guy in melee combat with his own unit that just adds this whatever his damage on his profile is to that unit's damage essentially. Don't really care about him at all. This guy is very interesting. I like the cavalry guy. Sentinels seem good. Cavalry seems good. Their shooting seems good. Their chaff is slightly faster than the army, which is what you're always looking for. Their super long range shooting seems all right, depending. The big bull engines are a little disappointing, but against certain armies, a 2-up save is essentially immortal. It just depends. You're kind of rolling the dice there. But they look so cool, just take one, right? Doesn't he give him +1 attack? Oh, did I misread? I might have misread it. Am I going to have a retraction? +1 attacks characteristic of its melee weapons. Does that mean this guy or the unit? The target unit can use to pick a fight ability immediately after the fight ability is used by this unit. If it is picked to do so, add one of its. I think that's the target unit. Again, this is written a little weird. If it's giving the target unit the bonus to attacks, then this is no longer I sleep. It is actually real shit. I bet it's the target. Because otherwise it'd be just like crap. Anyway, even your standard dudes are kind of nice with it. They're like Mortec Guard, only better. I look through Final Verdict. I'm looking through Hellsmiths of Hashish, and I see some good memes, some potentially really good units all over the place in a bunch of different roles to play. I don't know points yet. There's some specifics that we don't know. How many desecration points or tokens can you place on the battlefield? How easily can you place them everywhere? We got some open questions still, but it feels a lot like they looked at what Oziark Bone Reapers lost and just did that again, except a little more, maybe a little more fun for you and the opponent. Yeah, this is Oziark Bone Reapers 2. Except with a bunch of really good units instead of 2. That means they'll be fun to play, because OBR was tons of fun to play right when they came out. Certainly not to play against, but they were fun to play as. That's for sure. Rob's melting into his chair. You gotta sit up, Rob. It's great. You got your army finally. You've been waiting so long. Anyway, looks good and fun. I think it'll be all right. I think everything's gonna be all right. Nice work. Speaking of leaning forward in your chair, it's time to lean back in your chair. At least that's what I'll be doing. Right now. Me mad? Okay.
With Klondike ice cream bars, you get big servings, big taste, big cream.
Imagine
5 big, moist, delicious ounces of big, hot ice cream. And a coating made with beautiful
Milk.
chocolate so you can
pour
big cream.
like I've never had it.
Klondike, big bar, big cream.
Cream. All right, lay it on me. What are your thoughts? I know my thoughts. It's a success story. This is like basically what I was hoping would happen. Army seems cool. They reached back into the annals of Age of Sigmar and pulled out an army that used to have really cool rules and lost most of them. And they're like, well, we'll just give it to these new guys. You know? They look good. They got some big stuff. Yeah, fun. Some certain funds detected. Certain funds allowed. It's always a dangerous balance when you're trying to do artillery. But I think they're doing it right. The first artillery... Geez, is this true? Well, at least in this edition. The first artillery that felt like it was balanced correctly. And what I mean by balanced correctly isn't like too overpowered or too safe or whatever. I mean something that feels usable but isn't like bad. Because there's a fear with artillery. You don't want to make artillery too good because it warps the game completely, right? I really think that the soggy ogre rules with the Iron Blaster really hit the Goldilocks zone of having artillery that's good but not like oppressively OP. Like very playable still. And it looks like Hashish might be similar in that. They got the really long-ranged one, the 30-incher, you know? And that one's good against infantry and stuff. And then the shorter range one is the hardest hitting one, you know? The biggest rend, good at targeting monsters and opposing artilleries and stuff. And I think that's the right way to do it. If you're going to have a longer ranged artillery and a shorter ranged artillery, I think that's how you do it. 18 inches is good to see on the 2 damage, no rend, but possibly 3 rend guys. 18 inches feels like a, 24 inches is more of a, that's like a 2nd edition shooting profile. But it's not some garbage ass 8-inch, 9-inch kind of pistols thing like KO guys get. Well, not all their guys. Some of them have longer range, but you know my point. Anyway, that's interesting. I wonder how... And if anybody knows any other info, do let me know. But I wonder how precious those desolation points are going to be. How hard is it to get those? How much desolation can you accomplish, do you think, on the average table? Because the strength of some of those abilities make it seem like you're only going to have, like, 4 or 5 points ever. To juice one guy and then give, like, one other thing something. Ren 3 on something, you know, 5 up ward on your main hero, +1 to cast, shit like that. The DP bonuses are pretty good. Dude, +3 to charge on your cavalry after being in the sub-faction. They give it +2 to move in the first place. Dude, you know me, I'm a cavalry enjoyer. And so I like the bull centaurs. 12-inch move, crit mortals, charge bonuses. You're next to the hero, you get retreat and charge. As much as +3 to charge rolls, kind of sick. Remember, Fantasy had the trick of making artillery very good and killy, but the scatter dice tempered it. Stuff just hits in Sigmar, yeah, which is tricky. Well, the way they've balanced these stuff just hits is that it's all 4s and 2s. So it really doesn't hit. Then again, you can give it all out A. And all out A for ranged units is sort of free. You know, all out A does have a big downside now, but generally only in melee combat. For comparison, unpledged Vanguard do 28 average damage on the charge versus 4. Yeah, I'm remembering some ABCs. Hey, if that's what they do with bull centaurs, dude, imagine what they do with ogres and Mornfang. Our cavalry is going to be so great. Surely. Surely. Noblar meta incoming. I'm kind of annoyed by how correct you probably are with that statement. I don't know. I dream of a world where... I dream of a world where we don't need chaff like that in the ogre army. You just play big stuff because you're the big stuff army, but I know that that's not the way it works. It's gonna be great. Fellow positives. It's a bull market, baby. Buy, buy, buy. They look pretty fun to paint up, too. You could do some funny themes with them. Like the demons of Wall Street. Give them, like, pinstripe suits and shit. People love their little scamps, and just mechanically, really, really cheap chaff is just good mechanically. Like it's simply great to have game mechanically, you know. The Bull of Wall Street.
Let us hope rests now like
Shocked ground, that's fine. Evasive monsters, that too is fine. Big damage, that too is fine. Am I working my way in here? Maybe. Oh wait, there's a funny one. Overrun by abyssals. Hell yeah, let's do it. Gnarblers really feel like they should be in SOB. Kind of like goblins worship dragons in Magic. Did you do that Magic reference correctly? I mean, some of them do. I was thinking like kobolds and dragons. But that was like a D&D thing. So the problem with stuff like that is it's correct to do, but I think it goes fundamentally against the spirit of it. And they should endeavor to find a way for the spirit to work. And the spirit of SOB is 4 big guys. The song. It's 4 big guys. And you, like, of course, rules-wise, giving the 4 big guys the army thing a shitload of really good, inexpensive chaff would be, like, great. Mechanically. But it's not about being good, it's about being fun. And if you have to sacrifice your entire, like, theme of just pure bigness at the altar of being able to have like a functional army, then it wasn't worth it in the first place. Which is why I don't like the little gargants in SOB either. If I were to redo Sons of Behemoth, like armchair game dev fixing AOS video, you know, the cost of the megas would go down a little bit. Man Crusher Gargants would get retired into the old world. They're not in Age of Sigmar anymore, they're gone. So that you play 5 megas. They're essentially 5 guys for 200 points. I mean, sorry, 5 guys for 400 or whatever it is. That divide evenly into 2,000 so that you can switch between whatever ones of it. And they're just D&D, they're a Dungeons & Dragons party. Like, there's a wizard Gargant, there's a cleric Gargant, there's a necromancer Gargant, there's a barbarian berserker Gargant that somehow can't die until he realizes he's dead, which is like way later. Just shit like that. They're like really distinct and different. And you build your little party out of them. The necromancer Gargant can like resurrect a dead Gargant as a bone colossus, and you get like a model for it. You're just playing a human, and of course there's ranged ones too. There's like the rock chucker, the rock thrower, just hurling boulders, a hulking hurler, since we're talking about D&D a little bit, aka the hulking herder. Doesn't help that they're hideous. They are hideous. Yeah, they are. I don't like the sculpt. I've made no secret of that. I don't care for the sculpt. No, sir. Greater Chaos Orb. Don't mind if I do. Thanks. Thank you. Nice Abyss. Healer tank 3 DPS. Big World of War. Big WoW. Can they have more than one leg pose? Yes. Comes with an apology letter signed by the president. Not the president of GW, the president of America, who was unrelated and not at fault, but he must still apologize for it. You get a second leg thing. It's an upgrade kit. The upgrade kit is like $42. Or some obnoxious amount, I'm sure. Because they already got like the King Broad upgrade kit. And what a missed opportunity not to give call it the leg day, call it the don't skip leg day update. Release the leg update, Sprue GW, we know your name's on it. The kawaii legs. Just a gargant with a massive cannon strapped to their crotch. Like that one guy in From Dusk Till Dawn. What was his name? I know. Anyway, like that guy, yeah. That's right, his name was Sex Machine. You are right, that's true. Arturius, you're a big kitchen cooker kind of guy. Well, he's in the HeyWoah Discord. We're kind of kitchen cookers. The Ogre Discord, we cook. Sometimes it's just eats, but generally it's cooks and eats. I appreciate it. Every once in a while, I open my Discord and I'm like, what do we got in here today? What are people posting? And it's just like, look at this steak I cooked. Look at these wings I made. Here's a repost of Pestrica's Twitter, and I'm like, all right, I made a community. Sometimes you feel like you really made a community. And if we're reposting Pestrica and look at this fucking steak. Sometimes you're like, you know, the kids are going to be all right. I'll show you your pork chop when it's done. Hell yeah. Homer Simpson famously loves pork chops. A little applesauce on the side. Kicking it old school in that way. Dude, I changed up this build a little bit. I went down on the cocaine ants. I'm down to 3. I got a lot more spirit for various reasons. I found even more loopholes to get even more spirit. And with that extra spirit, I got yet another minion. So now we have... Muster is now multiplying all their damage by 5 times 7. Or, sorry, 9 times 7. And I went down to, so I went down to 3 cocaine ants and up to 10 lightning boys. I think I like it. I wonder how it'll be on bosses, but I think I like it. Are those orbs of lightning? Those are orbs of lightning. Right now they're people. When the people see stuff, they shoot the orbs of lightning. And then I can't see anything. But they all have pierce. And they bounce off walls, so we're good. I have 617 spirit at this point. And I'm still finding ways to get more. We're spirit maxing. What I need to do next is get one of those exceptional base helmets and then corrupt it into a 3rd socket. And then put 3 talismans of Ralakesh in it for the mega high roller discount. It's like the next upgrade. They already have the belt with double Ralakesh sockets in it. And the Prism Guardian with max spirit per max life. And the Lattice Sandals, Bones of Uller for 30% reservation efficiency. Of course, 36. This is actually pretty low on the amulet. Only 36. 60 on the chest. And then I'm trading 25% of my max life for even yet more spirit. And I got 3 of these gemstones that give 2% increased spirit per grand spectrum, and I have 3 of them, so it's 6, 12, 18. Plus an extra 3% life, energy, and mana shield, and that stuff converts into spirit in various ways. Plus this thing for 4% increased spirit. We are spirit maxing. And I've neglected a lot of my defenses to do so, so we're still basically a glass cannon. But that's okay with me. That was the whole point of this character, is to be a glass cannon that can't actually do anything and has 0 spells. It's just minions do stuff. Minion type shit. Perfect Jeweler's Orb, don't mind if I do. Is this one of the good ones? No, it's one of the bad ones. I've actually run out of sockets for skills. I don't actually have any skills. I only have minions. I ran out. I got Pain Offering. I guess that's a skill. And Convalescence, so I don't die, but... A glass cannon strapped to a gargant grunt? True. Entirely correct. Painting up terrain to make up some extra tables at a rest of the Waffle House. Running a one-day AOS tourney and you got 22 people. Nice. It's hard to get the word out a lot of times for stuff like that. Nice to hear. 22 people is big for your first tournament. Also, we got recipes in the chat. Oh, this zone's gonna suck because of tight hallways. The minions are bad at navigating. We got a spicy mayo tier list going. How many different types of spicy mayo can there even be? I will put this out there. Spicy mayo is rather delicious, in my personal opinion. I'm a fan. I like spicy mayo. I like horseradish mayo. I like sriracha mayo. I like mayo. I mean, mayo is just eggs, eggs and oil. It's nothing too advanced, but it makes for a good flavor platform. Good for dipping, good for putting on stuff. Pairs great with a Borgare, in my opinion.
You sure about that placement?
Well, that's right. I got to do that video where I talk about, like 4th edition feedback, looking forward to 5th kind of thing. Because I would imagine right about now is when part of the team is already starting to work on 5th, I would imagine. We got 3-year edition cycles, right? They're probably hard at work already with that. You can always add more spice, but you can't take it out. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of water it down and stuff, but it's like copium behavior. It's rough to decrease. Chipotle mayo on a hot Bohergare is the best. Can't take it out. Zero crashes. Problem, it runs kind of shitty. Like, the FPS is kind of bad, there's a stutter every once in a while. But no crashes. So there is that. Oh, I forgot this was a Deliria. A Deliria. I didn't notice until that thing came on the screen. Alright, hey, thanks for the stuff. Not mayo, but hack. Everything bagel seasoning makes finishing East Asian dishes so easy. It's all in one, what you were going to sprinkle on it anyway. That makes sense. You guys think Hashish are going to be a popular army? Like, I know they had I wouldn't say a big following online, but they had a relentless, probably not very numerous, but they had a relentless following online. I wonder how much that translates to real life. If they'll be a big seller. I kind of hope so, just because I want, you know, the game to succeed in a general sense, right? Use DirectX 7. I'm working on it. I don't think DirectX 7 could quite do this. Although, I mean, I'd run the shit out of Descent or Unreal. Alright, so it's maps like these that my reduction in cocaine ants and increase in AoE lightning guys isn't the best. Because we're in single file passage hallways. But I don't know, it is what it is. It's still fine. It seems to be fine. My witch essentially runs maps whose modifiers my warrior can't handle. And then my warrior runs the rest of the maps instead of the witch. Because he can run the average map like an F-15 fighter jet. Whereas the witch is just kind of rolling around and then running in a circle and waiting for stuff to kill. So they complement each other, really. The warrior's there for blasting, but then there's some stuff that just pierces too many elemental immunities and would just get him killed. And the witch just slogs on forward and has almost 20 minions here to blast. Got him. I wonder what his abilities are. In a port over from a previous version, Windows to Windows NT, Windows Pinball was capable of running at zero exaggeration, 5,000 frames per second. There's this autistic dad guy on YouTube who was the guy who personally wrote the port for that pinball game onto Windows. That was like one of the things he did. He also made Task Manager. What a Chad. He made Task Manager, like he invented it. And the ability for zip files to open up like normal folders do, and you can drag stuff in and out of them, and that whole architecture just works. And he's just like super rich and retired now because he did a bunch of really good foundational stuff for early Windows and then just coasted on the stock options. And so now he's just like, hey, I programmed Christmas lights to do this, or let me tell you a story about something. He's just like YouTube autistic dad guy. And he's kind of neat to listen to every once in a while.
Have you found more?
I couldn't tell you his name, which actually would probably help. But here we are. Chilled ground, destroy. Literally anything else but chilled ground and temporal chains. Temporal chains, destroy. You know one person who will play them. So about on par with Fire Slayers, okay. Untamed Paradise. 319% increased experience, but they dropped no items. Bro. Gimme. Magic Monsters pack size. I should start like intelligently juicing maps. You know? I'm at that stage. I'm at the point where I should either start intelligently juicing maps or stop playing. Because I kind of hit the power limit as far as things that matter. And now it's just time to do maps forever. And even by their own admission, they're not done with the end game yet. This is just kind of a placeholder. I'm very interested what they're going to do with it because it's so important and huge. Like, what is the actual end game going to be? Because that's the next big patch. The next big patch, they're like focusing on end game, and they're going to conceivably make it good. And they're adding Druid, and so next patch is going to be fucking sick. Because I'm interested in the Druid, and I'm interested in endgame. That's going to make or break a lot of things. They almost entirely fixed crafting and item acquisition this patch. It's basically, like, almost entirely fixed. Is crafting and item acquisition, which were two of my big concerns. And they kind of redid how skill gems work in a way that I like a lot more. You don't have to go through cruel difficulty, big, actual big plus. The trading thing, huge. I don't think I'm going to have quite this level of gear again, because I figured out some of the cheap ways to get extremely good looking items before people started making YouTube videos on how to do it. And so I got to make a little bit of a fortune before the idea caught on.
Good job,
but
King.
Next season, everyone will go into it already knowing that. So I wonder how the economy will shake out, I guess. Tory Kicker 7, thanks to the tier 1 57. Big tier 1, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You know, it was nice going over some Age of Sigmar, and I appreciated how it wasn't a big disappointment. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's brand new, and so you don't have older rules to compare it to, because usually things get worse over time rather than stronger. But also just seems kind of good. How pleasing. How pleasant. And ogres in the future. I really do think the core rules are like almost good enough just to keep how they are. Moving in the 5th, unless... And it's just full focus on making battle tomes as interesting as possible. The season... The GHB season thing was super good. I'm looking forward to being positive about AOS. A blast from the past. I actually don't mind these maps. Somebody said they really didn't like these maps. I can't remember who it was. They're like, it doesn't drop any items. I hate the map. I actually want the experience. I don't mind no items here or there. Right around 93 is when things really start to slow down as far as leveling. Is just about exactly 93. And so I appreciate a leg up here and there.
Yes.
Okay, there is one downside. Obviously, there's other downsides, but the big downside, I guess, is you don't get a waystone. Patches of chilled ground. Oh, how did you get there? Destroy. Oof, look at that. Ooh, so many things. Sure. We'll do it. I find in the league, this is so good. I find myself in agreement with, for once, the general PoE audience. Everybody seems pretty up on this league. They're like, yep, this league's great. We got Act 4, which is huge. Interlude acts, so you don't have to do cruel difficulty. Automated trade, so every time you log in, you get to pick up divs and exalteds from shit that you've sold before. You don't have to deal with people physically being online to buy and sell stuff. Massive. Gem system is entirely different and better and more fun. I find myself using tons of abilities instead of just spamming one because you can use as many supports as you want. The Abyss thing is great. It's like really dangerous and hard. The degens on the ground are ridiculous. But the stuff you get is so strong that I don't care and I feel it's fine. I don't even want them to nerf it. It's like you get shit that's so powerful that, hey, just be really careful. It's fine. Really like the Abyssal stuff. Bunch of new abilities and things like that. I know there's only been 2 seasons besides the initial launch, but it's like 10 times better than Dawn of the Hunt. It's actually so good. It's probably the longest I've played a PoE2 league as well. We're into our, what, 2nd week? Most of the way through 2nd week. I made an entire ass alt and got her to 93. Usually you get to maps and just like burn out, you know? But it's actually so sick. Huge ups, as they say. I give it a strong 5 out of 7. Also, it's a season where there's more longevity. And maybe it's because Dawn of the Hunt was particularly bad, or because this one is particularly good, or both. I don't know, but like it's been really good and it's reinvigorated my hope. Also, they said they were buffing armor and it didn't seem like the numbers were going to add up and it looked like it was going to be bad. And then the numbers did add up and it's great. Like, surprising. They're like, no, we'll fix armor. We got this. We're going to add elemental. We're going to add armor applies against elemental stuff. And then people are like, geez, I don't know. Even if you add a full 100%, it's still going to suck. And they added more than a full 100%. We weren't prepared for the numbers that they were going to let you get to. My warrior has like over 200% of his armor applying to elemental. Like I'm applying something like 130,000 armor against all elemental types. And I have 52% block. Aside from degen zones, he like can't die. It actually has like kind of fixed armor, just about. Now my hit points are hella low because there's no hit points on the tree. And they did try to fix dodge, or what's it called? Evasion. They're like, oh, we'll give evasion like another, what's the fuck is the thing called? Whatever thing they added, it's like an additional random chance for you to take 40% less damage from a hit. So it's like a random chance on top of your random chance if you're only going evasion, and it really doesn't fix it. It really doesn't fix it at all. And that's because the whole point is, okay, well, you're an evasion character. What we don't want to happen is you dodge 90% of moves, and then the one move that you don't dodge, you are one shot from full life. Now that's funny, but it's not good. Because then you're just running around and everything, let Jesus take the wheel. Even, no offense, cantons. Does this affect my pets too? Dude, I hope so. The lightning. Okay, Spirit, where are we going? I need another 3 of the Helm gems for Reserve Spirit, then I need another Glove attack speed thing, because I sold that one that dropped, because it spiked in price up to 16 divs, and I just couldn't say no, sold it. I don't have gloves good enough on my warrior to put it in anyway, as I learned. And so we're temporarily selling it since I got a good farm going. I'll get another one. Plus, that's what it means to be the alt. Sometimes your shit gets sold because you're no longer the main, even though you're cool.
We need to connect. What do you need?
Interesting. How you doing? You like stats on your helm? Kinda. I could put it up for everybody actually wants this thing. Hey, you wanna have it be a project?
Yes, I serve.
Alright, good shit. I'm not sticking around too long. But thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys Monday again. Hey, I'm kind of feeling as soon as we get some points for these Hellsmiths of Hashish. Anybody interested in a game? Any stream games? I could play against the Hashish boys. They would have to get a TTS update, but I bet somebody's on that. They had a lot of internet following. Probably not Monday, that's a little too early. We'll see when we get those points, but I might play a game of Age of Sigmar or 2 in the coming week or 2 if it comes out. Also another Trench Crusade. I got a bunch of people on Discord who are like, hey, I'll play such and such army against you in Trench Crusade. I am interested. Bring that back. It's been non-stop Path of Exile because it was a new league and we had the blast. But it's tapering off. I still like it, but I don't need to subject you guys to it all the time. Getting a little more Trench Crusade.